Hello everyone and welcome to this Assistant review video. Today I'm going to be telling you everything you need to know about Assistant, and as usual, if you do have any questions, please leave them in the comment section down below. I'll also be leaving a discounted link in this video's description so that you can always get your money's worth for Assistant. So as you can see, here we are on our desktop this time. Now, Assistant is slightly different. It's not a website in the sense that it's not something that you can do so the features on a built-in site. You will go onto their site, and then what you can do is you can download this little application. Now, it acts essentially as a thing running in the background down here. As you can see, Assistant is just running there. Now, what it basically does is it's more of a writing assistant where it will stop you from writing the same thing twice. And if you have something that you send out to a lot of people numerous amounts of times, but you don't want to keep copying and pasting or finding it or typing the same sort of details out, you're able to create templates of things that you might, typically write. And I'm going to be showing you how to use it today. So here we have our main option. Now, this is where you search content and you can have repositories on here. So when you actually have something that you want to write, you save it to a repository and you can view all of these down here. But we need to firstly create these features, and I'm going to be showing you how to do that. So once you've found something, as you can see, I've got this a little bit here. So what I'm going to do is highlight, and then I'm going to do control space. Now what this does is it lets me add a template. Now we can name the template whatever we want, and we're just going to call it template 1, and then we can save it to a specific repository. Now I'm going to go ahead and do it to Opulent Tools. You can create one if you want to, which is basically where you can create an external one. You can have different repositories for different sort of things and categories if you want to, but I'm going to go ahead and hit add template, and that's all we then need to do. Now when it then comes to actually writing out whatever we want written, we can double click on this button here, and you can either drop text onto this if you want to. This will always appear on top, so whatever you're using, whether it's a browser, whether it's your file explorer, whether you've got an email client open, this little this rather blue button will always be the very top thing on your computer. Now what I can do is, as you can see, I can do the exact same thing. I can drag this and I can drag text onto it, and it will create it with that. And it's really, really clever the way that it works. So I'm able to simply click and drag any time we want and create a new one. And obviously this is basically for if you've got an email or something that you send out to a lot of people, maybe you're looking for a job application, or maybe you're hiring people or things like that, then if you have something that you're going to want to send to your employee or your employer, rather whatever you want, you're able to do that really easily. But when it comes to actually, putting it down on paper, we can go into here, and then what we can do is we have all of these options. So we can manage our account, settings, help, and shut down. And then we have our three main options here. So we have search content, smart paste, and repositories. Now, manage repositories will take you to a page where you're basically able to create, remove, add files, all these different things. You can invite users to be able to view different repositories. So if you've got people that do the same job as you and you want to give them access to these as well and use this for your company, you're able to do that. At the bottom here, you're able to create subfolders, add public repositories, or even manage groups, and all these options are really easy to use. So if I wanted to go ahead and create a subfolder, we'd call it subfolder 1, and we'll just call it this is for extra information, and then hit OK. And that will create a subfolder under our main Opulent Tools repository. So if you have one for maybe different employees that you can have different repositories for specific employees. Maybe they want to write something out in their mode of speaking. It really doesn't matter. There's a plentiful amount of opportunities. So for example, if one of your employees was much more casual and one of them was much more formal, you'd be able to have them write out their own paragraph or their own, introduction that they might want to send to people. If, for example, they were maybe a support operative or something like that. You can also create public repositories that people can view if you want to, and as I said, manage all of your groups. But that is the repositories button. Now, the other options that you have are the smart paste and the search content. Now, the smart paste basically will bring through everything that you've got in your clipboard, pretty much, that you're able to then filter through. Now, as you can see, I've got a photo of a car here in my clipboard, but anything else that you've got, I've just booted my computer up, so this is the only thing that will be there. But it's essentially the same thing as the Windows V on your computer, where it will bring you up your history or your clipboard history that you're able to use. So you're able to save or share, you're able to pin this item, or you're able to remove it. So we'll go ahead and hit remove and then move on to the search content. Now this is when you're wanting to actually paste it in. Say, for example, you are on your email and you're ready to paste this little sentence. What you would do is you would click on this and you would have your template, and there's ways of you can do it. You can simply drag and drop if you wanted to, or what you can do is open this up in your client and obviously do it there as well. Now, the search content button is really, really easy to use. As I said, we looked at it earlier, and you can open up and look through all of your subfolders and look at your folders or repositories that you've got. If you have like a lot of templates and you've got sort of different names for them, however your naming system might work, if you use this, you're obviously able to filter through with that specific system. But what this would allow you then to do is look through every template that you've got and figure out which one that you actually want to use for whatever purpose you're using it for. And then finally, we have the content manager, which we've already been through. But just to add a few more things, you can rename the repository if you want to. So if there's anything that you don't really like in it and there's maybe the name isn't quite right, you're able to do that. And you're also able to add files. So files may be screenshots or things like that you might want to add. It doesn't just have to be text, or it can be text and screenshots sort of together. So it's a load of different things that you can do on here, and that's really what I like. But the thing is with Assistant is it's just very useful, and it will boost that efficiency that you might need when you're creating something like this. Under the settings tab, we've got very simple features. As you can see, we have an overall language for it. You can start the software when Windows logs in. You can play a sound when the window pops up. You can manage any apps or quick search if you want to. And then we have some additional features, and we'll just go through these. You can complete corporations, and you can have IDs. You can show your registrar's company information. You can fix punctuation errors. Now, let me very quickly demonstrate that one. For example, if you're writing the word, "Hi there, my name is Opulent," what we would do is put "Hi there, comma, my name is Opulent." Now, however, if I go back to this comma and delete that, and then try and continue typing, once I've done this, it will make a little bit of a chime. You won't be able to hear it, but the chime does exist. Let me show you. "Hi there, my name is." Now, a chime is popping up, and if I didn't have this open, it would come up with this little thing here, punctuation correction. And simply by hitting tab, it will go back to where the issue is and fix that for us. So it's also a sort of autocorrect application as well, which I think is a really awesome thing. And double clicking on the assistant will bring up the search content, and obviously single clicking will bring up this, just to say that as well. You can warn on parentheses errors. You can see emoji keyboard shortcuts. You can warn when you have a long sentence, learn users writing, tab to complete, open floating windows, fix common errors, and complete zip code. And then you can obviously move your opacity of your completion window, and also check for updates with the software if there are any. But that is more or less it for Assistant. So what do I think about Assistant? And in all honesty, I think it's really good. It's very, very useful and very simple for what it does, but it makes sure that those things are exactly correct. The one thing I will say is it does have a sort of quite an old interface, I will say. It's not got that Windows 10, Windows 11 feel to it. It's more of a Windows 7 feel, but that does not take away from the actual functionality. And at the end of the day, the functionality is the main part of the software. You want it to work. The actual appearance is obviously going to come in second. The actual way that it works and the things that you can do are useful, and the idea behind it is brilliant. As for who would want to use it, it's mainly people, as I said earlier in the video, people who write the same thing numerous times and don't want to have to keep maybe their own not very efficient repository, or have to keep typing it out every single time. So this combined makes a really great piece of software, and I would highly recommend it to anybody who needs that efficiency and doesn't want to write the same thing twice. But thank you everyone so much for watching. I will see you next time, but until then, goodbye.